Good morning, student. Today we are going to give you the orientation briefing for the program for Bachelor of Software Engineering, Bachelor of Computer Science, and Bachelor of Information Technologies. For Bachelor of Software Engineering, the program director is Dr. Safras. Bachelor of Computer Science, program director is Dr. Sagaya, and Bachelor of Information Technology, the program director is Dr. Goh Wei Wei. All the students are required to check their student portal daily. All the announcements will be announced regularly in the student portal. It is the student responsibilities to check all the announcements related to their timetables, examination times, cancellation or replacement of classes. For module and subject registration, students will have to register for their module for next semester online. We call it the AMR in week 5 to 7 via student portal. Upon commencement of the semester, students can access their timetable through the student portal. Students are not allowed to attend any classes for the module that they are not officially enrolled. It is the student responsibility to ensure that all prerequisites are satisfied before enrolling in any modules. Please take note that students are not allowed to change any of their tutorial classes one aside without the permission of the program director. The school reserves the right to alter any student timetable due to any unforeseen circumstances. If there is a change in mailing or permanent address or the telephone number, please fill in the form and submit to the campus central to ensure that all the records are updated. Information such as the vital information like contact number, emergency contact number need to inform the campus central. If there is any emergency, we will contact you or your family. For add and drop of the module, student can do the add and drop of the module in the first 2 weeks of the semester by submitting the add and drop form to the campus central and also via the student portal. Add and drop modules must be approved by the program director. Fees for module drop in the first 2 weeks will be carried forward to the next semester. For timetables, Taylor's University reserves the right to alter any student timetable due to any unforeseen circumstances. Please take note that you are not allowed to change any tutorial classes once it is assigned. For attendance, students have to do a minimum of 80% of attendance for lectures, tutorials, and lab sessions. In case of absence, for example, if you are sick or you are on holiday, students who wish to withdraw from their class or program, they need to fill in the withdrawal form. Or if they would like to apply for leave, they have to fill in the application for the leave form. Supporting documents must be provided for verifications. The university will not approve the leave of absence for more than 1 month. Any application for a longer duration, they have to fill in the deferment form. For deferment, which means if you would like to defer for your program for 1 semester, then you will have to fill in the deferment form. Students are allowed to defer for their program up to 12 months. Academic misconduct. Civil penalties are imposed for academic misconduct and dishonesty. For example, cheating in the assignments, cheating in the examination, or plagiarism in assignments. Penalties. All the plagiarism or cheating during examination will be investigated by the Academic Integrity Committee. The penalty will be imposed for the first offense. For example, there will be the deduction of marks for a particular assessment, and then students are required to resit for an assessment, or student will be awarded a 0 mark for the assessment. A repeat offense for the same course or any course thereafter could be resulted in suspension or expulsion from the university. Withdrawal from program. Students who wish to withdraw from their program must fill in the written application to the university and fill up a clearance form obtained from the campus central. A request for withdrawal from the program will be treated as a request for withdrawal from all modules. Withdrawal from the course. Students who have ceased to attend classes for any or all modules for exceeding 4 weeks, they have not the sought permission of withdrawal, their enrollment will be withdrawn by the university automatically. Exclusion from university. Students who fail to maintain the minimum requirement rate of progress, then they will be excluded from the program. Readmission. Students who have their enrollment terminated or excluded, if they wish to readmit, they have to reapply to the university through the readmission. The decision will be decided by the university. For add and drop, students will need to do the add and drop in the first 2 weeks via student portals. Fees for add and drop for the first 2 weeks will be carried forward to the next semester. Exemptions. Students seeking for credit transfer and subject exemption should submit the application form for subject exemption to the program office together with the relevant documents. Students will be notified of the outcome approximately 2 weeks after submission of the applications. Referral exam. Students who are eligible to take the receipt or supplementary exam are required to pay an examination fee of Ringgit Malaysia 150 per module and to produce the official receipt during the examination. For courtesy and respect, students must be disciplined and courteous at all times. Responsible behavior is expected both inside and outside the university. Students should develop a sense of respect to the faculty members as well as colleagues and outside visitors and for the university property. Copyright issues. Taylor's University does not the copyright issue is important for Taylor's University. Students will be personally liable if they infringe copyrights. Students are responsible for the purchase of class materials and prescribed textbook for each subject. Photocopy version of the textbook are not permitted in lecture or tutorials.
For examination results will be available on the student portal and no results will be released to any students or parents over the telephone. Module assessment, referrals, and reassessments. A second attempt or resit will happen when you have failed to reach a pass standard at the first attempt. The opportunity to be assessed for a second time in those components which were failed without attendance. That is considered a second attempt. A third attempt or repeat is when you have failed to reach a pass standard at the second attempt or resit for the opportunity to repeat a module with attendance and to undertake all the assessment components again. A fourth attempt or a second resit. When a student has failed to reach a pass standard at the third attempt or repeat, the exceptional opportunity to be assessed in those components which the student has failed. Now, to pass a Taylor's module at levels 1 to 3, students must achieve an overall module mark of not less than 50%. Where the module has 2 components, students must achieve at least 40% in each component in order to pass the module. A mark below 40% in either component means that the module has not been passed. Students who do not pass a module at the first attempt have a right to do a second attempt called resit. except for Regulation C 7.1 applies. The mark for a second attempt or resit is kept at 50% for Taylor's modules. Students who do not pass a module following a second attempt will be permitted a third attempt with attendance and be required to undertake all of the assessments again. The mark for the third attempt will not be capped. Students who do not pass a module at the third attempt or repeat have be considered as failed the module. Students will forfeit their right to a second attempt or resit if they did not submit the final piece for a coursework assessment for the module or never attended the examination of the module as identified in the module guide. Students who forfeit their right to a second attempt or resit under C 7.1 will be required to repeat the module with attendance and undertake all assessments again and repeat everything in the components of the assessments. An award board will only permit students a fourth attempt or a second resit at a module in relation to the third attempt where the module was failed. The mark for the fourth attempt will be kept at 50% for Taylor's modules. Unless an award board permits a fourth attempt or a second resit for a module, students failing the module following the third attempt or repeat on a module, which is compulsory for the named award for which they are registered, will have their registration for that award terminated by Taylor's. Students who do not pass a module following the third attempt or repeat on an optional module may take an alternative module if valid alternative modules are available. If students enroll on an alternative module, this module will be treated as a new enrollment and will be subject to the normal rules of assessment. Late submission of work for assessment. The hand-in time for all assessment will be considered as 2 p.m. local time. This will apply from Monday to Thursday and applies to all modules at all levels. Deadlines will not be set to fall on a public holiday. Work submitted up to 24 hours after the published deadline will be penalized as follows. A mark of more than 50% for the assessed piece of work will be reduced to 50%. The assessed piece of work will be used in the calculation for the overall module mark. A mark of 50% or less will stand and be used in the calculation of the overall module mark. Work will not be accepted after the 24-hour window and will be recorded as a non-submission. Extenuating circumstances. A student who is of the opinion that his or her performance in an examination or in other assessed work or his or her ability to attend an exam has been adversely affected within the definition of extenuating circumstances given in condition E 1.1 above should submit an extenuating circumstances form to the faculty or school or student advisor at the examination center. The form must be accompanied by supporting documentary evidence. Where supporting documentary evidence is not supplied with an extenuating circumstances request or is deemed by the award board to be inadmissible, any subsequent application by the student for a review of the award board decision may be rejected if based on claimed extenuating circumstances. Appeal against grades. Students may appeal against a module assessment grade by lodging the appeal against final assessment grade form within 3 days from the date of result released. Late appeals will not be entertained. Please note that such reviews will not constitute a remark of the examination paper, but a recount to ensure that all sections of the examination have received a mark and all that marks have been correctly totaled. Students will be charged 50 ringgit upon submission of the appeal form. In the event of a successful appeal, the 50 ringgit charge will be refunded to the student. Transcripts. Students are advised to collect their transcripts from the exam unit. They can authorize another person to collect or request for the transcripts to be mailed by filling in the collection of transcripts or certificate form to the exam unit. University bears no responsibility for documents lost in the mail or by the student. Assessment and grading. Students will be evaluated regularly as set out in subject outlines. Assessment modes will comprise of class tests, projects, individual or group, reports, assignments, mid-semester tests, and a final exam at the end of each semester. The final grade for each subject will be derived from a combination of all assessment marks and the final examination mark. You will be shared with program structure for your programs, and you can access them when you go into your student portal. Standard academic load. Exempted MQA modules need to be replaced by other elective modules. Standard academic load is 5 to 6 subjects to a semester with maximum of 20 credit hours. Subjects cannot be dropped without prior approval from the program director. Awareness of requirements. Students have to take the responsibility to ensure that you're fully informed of all aspects of the assessment process. You have to be clear about what is required in each subject, as it will be provided in the subject outlines at the beginning of each semester. Different subjects have quite different requirements. This might include preparation for classes, participation in tutorials, or online assessments, completing an independent learning task, or working with other students on a collaborative project. You have to refer to subject outlines for all requirements. Assessment gradings will be shared to you in every module and also in your student portal. Academic probation. Students under the normal admission category or professional category whose GPA is less than 2.0 in a semester will be placed under academic probation. Students in this category will be assigned to an advisor and must report for individual counseling on a regular basis as arranged. MPU subjects. Local students without a credit in SPM Bahasa Melayu are required to take Bahasa Kebangsaan A as an additional module under U2 category. Assessment or grading. You will have class tests, lab tests, projects or assignments, research and reports, and final exams. The final grade for each subject will be derived from a combination of all assessment component marks and the final exam marks. Minimum requirement to transfer to UWE. Students must normally complete 6 semesters or 2 years in Taylor's University before they are eligible to transfer to UWE. Students on academic probation or provisional status are not permitted to progress to UWE. Dual award degree with UWE. Students will be issued a student ID from UWE. You are allowed to access UWE library portal. Taylor's will issue the full academic transcript, whereas UWE will only issue a partial transcript. Students will receive 2 scrolls from Taylor's and UWE upon completion of the degree. Thank you very much for your attention to our orientation. So you can also access these slides from your student portal. And for any questions you may have regarding any programs or any of the other areas we have covered in this presentation, please contact your program director. Okay, thank you very much.